Now we got old school R&B legend Jon B, who is not here for his song being sampled 2 years ago by Gunna and Chloe Bailey. Full disclosure, JV wins, and I don't mean to refer to myself in the third person. I'm just trying to make it very clear. I have not listened to the song in question, the song that Jon B hates so much. But Jon B is not a fan of a sample of a very classic song by him from the 90s. They Don't Know. Very classic Jon B song. That might be his most famous single ever. But that song was sampled by Gunna and Chloe Bailey back in 2022 in a song that they called You and Me. And Jon B has shared that he absolutely hates it. But he doesn't wholeheartedly hate every time he is sampled, but he feels some type of way about bad samples, and he includes this song by Chloe Bailey and Gunna as a bad sampling of his classic song They Don't Know. So this says Jon B absolutely hates the Gunna and Chloe song that samples him. Jon B is not an S tier R&B singer, but he's got classic songs. So many classics, in fact, that he's become a popular source for samples. A little Jon B goes a long way in giving a song a retro 90s feel. Gunna and Chloe Bailey were going for this precise feel on their 2022 collab You and Me. Unfortunately, they didn't clear the sample of Jon B's They Don't Know that plays throughout the song. Jon B was not pleased when he found out, and he let it be known how much he hated the new song during a recent interview with Can We Talk R&B. The R&B singer went on the podcast shortly after the Gunna and Chloe Bailey single dropped. He did not mince words when asked what he thought of the sample. Jon B said he couldn't stand what the artist had done to his original composition. He dubbed their version of They Don't Know as Ratchet, and he lamented that You and Me ever saw the light of day. My lane is my lane. I earned that, Jon B explained. Just like if you made a hit in your area, I'm not just going to come into your area and take your joint and make it mine and then not pay you. Damn, tell us how you really feel, John. So here is Jon B talking about this. So let's see here.
Gonna do it deep.
So let's go full screen.
You
And here's Jon B talking about how much he hates that song.
Gonna do a deep dive of They Don't Know.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
yeah.
They Don't Know. I'm aware. I know Tim Kelly or Tim and Bob was a part of that one as well, right?
Oh yeah, they did the track. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I play this song.
What an amazing track.
Come on, man.
To this day.
I play that song, and the guitar lick still has me in a chokehold.
The guitar lick is okay. So you heard the new Robin Thicke song?
His newest single. I have not.
Yeah, it's the They Don't Know guitar lick.
Come on.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it right now on this podcast. Like, listen to it. It has a bang, it's somewhere. Look, it may not be exactly the same thing.
It's a derivative.
Robin, it's in there. It goes bang, ding, 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 right? You know, bro. You know, because you love that song, don't you? All right, yeah, you do. I love your song too. Your songs.
I love that.
But it went bing, didn't it? It went bing, ding, ding.
Come on.
Let me talk about shit. No, but no, it does get sampled every year.
Sure.
You know, by someone. Last year was Gunna and Chloe Bailey.
That's right.
They put that Ratchet record out that I couldn't stand.
Oh man.
And I wish they never did.
Man.
And actually never got my rights to do that record either. So we gotta holler about that.
That's a business to take care
of. That's some business shit we gotta handle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know what? It's all a compliment to what we did.
Sure.
That's Tim and Bob compliment. That's
No
me
doubt.
compliment. But at the same time, my lane is my lane and my area is my area. And I earned that.
No doubt.
Just like if you made a hit in your area and you know you do your song, whatever it is, I'm not gonna just come into your area, take your joint and make it mine, and then I'll pay you or whatever. So, you know, that being said,
right.
you know,
That's your
but I've been
creation.
very, very humble about my whole approach to this whole music industry thing.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to be rah rah and come out and say a lot of different things, I could be Cat Williams right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I don't want to be thought of as a guy who's disenfranchised or sort of like, you know, complacent in any way.
Sure.
I'm very blessed.
Absolutely.
And I'm on top. I'm up.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And so
Lord have mercy.
All right, he's up. He's on top. Maybe he was on top in 1997, but the article goes on to say the criticisms didn't stop there. The singer accused Gunna of failing to clear the sample, which could result in legal action. So that's everything that you heard in that video clip. John also has some strong words for his blue-eyed successor, Justin Timberlake. During the podcast, the singer laid into Timberlake's latest single, No Angels. He was somehow even more brutal with JT than Gunna or Chloe Bailey. That new single is trash, he said plainly. I'm not feeling his music at all anymore. And the video is even more trash. So, and this is the worst part of this article. One of the few people Jon B has had nice words for, ironically, is everyone's favorite enemy in 2024, Drake. The Six Guys sampled Jon B on his 2011 opus Take Care, and the latter gave love in return. One of the most humble people I've met in the industry. He wrote on Facebook in 2012, it's nice to know the respect is mutual, big up Drake. Now, granted, 2012 was a different Drake than 2024 Drake, but be that as it may, he still said that. But yeah, so what do you make about Jon B blasting Gunna and Chloe Bailey's sampling of his song They Don't Know for their single in 2022, and his overall tone about how he feels about certain samples and how, you know, there might be legal action because he didn't clear the song and so on and so forth?
I mean, I hear his argument 100, man. You know, I can see where he's coming from on that. And you know, shout out to Jon B, man. He was holding it down, bro. That song, bro, They Don't Know. Man, they played that at our sixth grade. When I went to elementary school, we had a sixth grade dance. And they played that at a sixth grade dance, bro. I was trying to get some dance floor action in sixth grade, bro. I was like, hey, come over here, girl. So it was the jam, bro. And whenever I hear it in passing or whatever, I don't skip it. I think it's a good song, man. I think it's a real chill vibes. And I think what Jon B was, I think he really embodied R&B at that time, and that song is a classic in my opinion. So you know, so I respect him when it comes to, you know, him being an artist of the craft. With that being said, you know, I had to hear this song after, you know, I saw this clip floating around online. I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Let me listen to the song, see if there's some validity in this. So you know, I pulled up the lyrics here. I'll just read the first two lines for you.
Okay.
And he says, you know, ooh, ooh, ooh. Right.
Who are we talking? Which one are we talking about? The song he don't like? Which
the one, yeah, the song he don't like, the one called what, You and Me.
Okay.
And so in there he says, I'll F you right. I will. I'll F you right. I will. That cat is tight, but I don't care. I'll eat it like 5-star meal. And whatever this means. And so this ties into the ratchetness that he was talking about. The rest of the song does this throughout, where it doesn't talk about love. It talks about infatuation, hitting it, and you know, it's just me and you. Don't judge us or whatever. So it has nothing to do with the premise of the initial song. So I felt as though if it was a sample that was used from him, and he felt as though it was, you know, honoring the song, that y'all didn't just take it and make your own thing of it. I feel like if they just honored the song, then he would have stayed in the shadows and not said a thing. Because like he mentioned, you know, the song gets sampled every year. So, but this is the one that he had objection to, and I think it's due to the explicit lyrics. and the fact that it really has nothing to do with the original. So yeah, I mean, I'm with him on that, but part of the music industry game, bro, is them taking these classics, bro, and bastardizing them. Bro, I remember coming up, bro, 94, 95, whatever, and I'm hearing songs from Biggie and whatever, and I'm like, I love it when they call me Big Pop. I'm all this stuff. And my dad said, "Hey, that's the Osley brothers. Oh, hey, that's Curtis Mayfield." Or he just saying whoever the songs come from. I was like, Curtis Mayfield. I was like, "Nah, Dad, this is Puff Daddy and Biggie Smalls." It's like, no, they took the song and they just never mind. That was his thing. You're not gonna understand it. So I was like, bro, whatever. This stuff slap harder than whatever you're talking about anyway. This is me. And so so it was okay as I was growing up because I hadn't have a knowledge base. So, fast forward, and then I started seeing that they started making remakes of songs from like 99 and 2002, 2004 in some cases. Anything in the 2010s, to be honest. I was like, this hasn't even had enough time to age. You're supposed to pull stuff out like wine. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, this is Curtis Mayfield, circa 1970 something. He's like, oh yeah, you got a 1977 Curtis Mayfield, pour that over here. But this stuff that's only been aged for 5 weeks, this is no different than gas station alcohol. So yeah, it's low quality, low bar garbage. But when you're dealing with Gunna and Chloe Bailey, you're not dealing with premium artists here. You're going to get some gas station quality alcohol. And that's all they provided here. Nothing aged at all with this. They didn't put it in the incubator to ferment it harder. They just whipped it out and just threw it together like a mixtape song. And I think that was the part about it where he was like, hey, man, if y'all going to take my stuff, man, you know what I'm saying? Respect and honor it. And but again, when you're dealing with this industry, bro, they don't respect nada. So everything that we grew up in, loving and stuff like that, it's on the chopping blocks to get eradicated right now, and just get bastardized by whatever industry, whether it's the music industry or the film industry. They're taking our old stuff and making it look shardy. So sorry, Jon B, but this is the wave. You're gonna get somebody else that's clearing your stuff just so they can shard all over it. But what are your thoughts, man, on Jon B airing out Gunna and Chloe? You think that was fair or not?
It was. This to me is like, I guess the direction that I go with this is knowing the importance of ownership. Because if unless I'm understanding this incorrectly, if Jon B owned the rights to that song, no one could sample it without his clearance. So in other words, if they say Chloe Bailey and Gunna put that song out and he owns the masters to that song, he owns the rights to it, he can issue a cease and desist and the song gets taken down or whatever, because it has to go through him, because he has to you have to be in compliance with the terms of his sampling. So either he's going to be like, no, you can't make the song, or he's going to be involved in payment or some sort of a royalty fee or something like that in order for you to be able to sample that. If they were able to make that song without having to go through that with him, it tells me he doesn't actually own the rights to that song, which is unfortunate. But definitely somebody fact check me on that. I'm fairly certain that he does not own the rights to that song, which is the sole reason why anyone would be able to sample it and put something out that he doesn't like willfully. Now, I know he did say that he's going to seek legal action and so on and so forth, but the song is still out there. And something tells me that if he truly owned the rights to the song and he didn't clear this, you can cease and desist it.
Yeah.
Because there was like something was going on with that whole Drake Rick Ross situation, where one of the problems that Rick Ross had with French Montana, one of the problems that Rick Ross had with Drake is there was some collaboration that they did, but Drake issued a cease and desist, and so the song just went bye-bye. And then the same something similar happened with Drake when he tried to do a freestyle verse off that Tupac sample. And the Tupac estate issued a cease and desist, and the song got taken down. So I don't think Jon B owns the rights to that song, which is my central point, the importance of ownership. I remember back before Dave Chappelle owned the rights to Chappelle's show, Netflix, Comedy Central still owned it, and Chappelle was trying to buy it from them. And Netflix had Chappelle's show on Netflix. And whenever Dave Chappelle did a stand-up, he would take time during his set to tell the audience, do not stream any episode of Chappelle's show.
That's right.
Because he does not own the rights to it. So he is making no money off of the art that he created because Comedy Central owns it. So any sort of royalty, licensing fee, any of those sorts of residuals, nothing was going to him. Everything was going to Comedy Central. And so what Chappelle was doing was saying, this is an outrage. That's my creation. So long as it is not owned by me, I am urging everybody who's willing to listen, if you have a Netflix account, don't ever stream any of my show. And eventually he was able to successfully buy back the rights to that show. So now he owns it. And he brokered his own deal with Netflix to put the show on Netflix. But instead of Comedy Central getting the money, now Chappelle gets the money. So the thing is, man, you people out here in these various industries who create things, don't sell yourself out to somebody who's willing to make you a millionaire instantly. Like the road to like doing it the way in which you retain all your rights to everything that you own, it might take you longer to come into the kind of money and success that you're looking for, but in the long run, it's going to be more worth it because you want to retain as much ownership as possible over everything that you create. Otherwise, it's just going to be out there in the ether, and people can just do whatever they want, and they don't have to clear it by you. Like they don't have to run anything by you. They can just do whatever they want.
Yep.
And you know, so many of these artists today, and it's not just with music, it's with any sort of IP, intellectual property, it's with anything in any other industry. When you create something, you're going to have these conglomerates that are going to say, hey, we like what you did there. Let us buy it from you. And they're going to tantalize you with the allure of making you a millionaire instantly. But in 20 years, your creation is going to be worth billions of dollars. So if you retain ownership of it and you make sure that no matter what happens, you have a stake in that, you can reap the benefits of those billions and not some corporate entity that you sold it to. So I think that's the seminal message for everybody. And I'm pretty sure like back in the day, back in the 90s, people like Jon B, they ain't have no idea.
No.
Jon B ain't know. Like no one knows that in the future, somebody could just hit the button on Spotify and stream that song into perpetuity.
Yep.
And is Jon B getting the money for that? Probably not. It's probably going to the label that owns it.
Of course, yeah.
Unfortunately. So the thing about with more knowledge and more like acumen, now people understand these various concepts. But man, I'm glad that I was born when I was born. Because if I was a creator back in the 90s or in the late 80s, even the early 2000s, I would have been getting shitted on.
Oh yeah, dude.
And a lot of these artists got shitted on bad. Like they sold out unknowingly. You know, they didn't know what was going to happen in the future. So, you know, Jon B is now sitting here, you know, crying wolf because he feels some type of way about his song being bastardized. And I get it, because if you don't like it, you don't like it. So I'm totally with him on that. But at the end of the day, if you don't own it, you can't control what happens to it. So just make sure all artists, all creators, all people in the business sector, in the economic sector, wherever you might be making your money or earning your bones, just make sure that you retain the ownership to everything that you do so that you just it can't get railroaded at the end of the day.
Yeah, bro, I agree with that, man. But one thing about the industry, man, the music industry and having ownership, bro, that is like not too many people got that.
Yeah.
And so I'll take your point because, you know, do that if you can. But if you can't, like you said, have some type of stake in it that's larger than usual, if you can. Because those people do not play fair in that industry. And we just talked about Ice Spice, bro. I know she got some weird 360 deal where they're taking everything from her. So these new rappers still are signing 360s, and which are worse than the Jon B deals. So these new people, man, you know, they're still under the thumb of these labels. So yeah, man, the game hasn't changed. Those people have only got more sophisticated with it. So but yeah, man, there's a thing out there, man, where the diddler, he's still paying Sting $5K a day
Yeah.
for every breath I take.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you own a song
Mm-hmm.
and somebody ripped it off. And it's like, oh yeah, no, you can keep it up. I ain't gonna cease and desist that. Just give me 5 racks. Okay, that's all a day. Done. Oh boy, hey man, that's a player move, bro. Sting is not playing, and he said that with a straight face when he was on Breakfast Club. He's like, no, he's paying me that.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I did the math. I ain't got it on me right now, but I did the math at the time. It's a pretty penny, but if you expound it out for the year, that's a nice little paycheck that Sting's getting all the time. So so yeah, man, if you do have a piece of intellectual property, man, just making sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's,
Yeah.
just to make sure that because you never know, it could be 6 years from now that
Right.
something took off, but you didn't think it would, so you just like paperwork's paperwork,
And
it's like
that's the thing. That's what the big wigs depend on. The big wigs are depending on your impatience,
yes,
and they're depending on you deciding that the short-term gain is worth you selling it out, and that you're willing to trade the long-term larger benefit because they are going to make you an instant rich person now. But it's worth far more than that. But they're depending on your impatience and your short-sightedness. That's what they're relying on.
Yep. Or just flat out ignorance and desperation.
Yeah.
And so in Jon B case, I don't know which one it was, but as you mentioned, man, back in the 90s, bro, like there was a lot of people getting railroaded now, but man, there was a lot of people that was just getting nothing, dude. Like I don't know how many times I done sat around on YouTube and watched, videos of old R&B stuff of, whatever group, TLC, Escape, Total, whatever little R&B thing that they going in there, and it's always some label shenanigan. Hell, I think there's something on Netflix or something right now talking about NSYNC, how NSYNC was getting railroaded. I said NSYNC wasn't getting money? There ain't no way. NSYNC wasn't getting money. So when you think about that this, if you see any artist because that was it. It was just the other day, I swear. And I'm sitting there looking at it, I was like, wait a second, hold on.
Yeah.
NSYNC, I would have thought that they just do that to the urban artists. They'll still pay the glorious boy bands their nice due comings, but they didn't give those guys anything. Those guys were getting the short end of the stick for real. So it's like, man, I can't believe it. But again, this is the music industry. And so yeah, man, tread lightly when you're in those waters, man. But yeah, man, I agree with Jon B here, man. It, to me, when I heard the song, it was Ratchet. And if I did come out with this song almost 20 or whatever years ago, and 27
24 years, 27 years ago.
27, yeah. So if it's 30 years, bro.
Yep.
And I put out that piece of work that I know is going to sit there as it's in the Hall of Fame of R&B. Like honestly, bro, if there's like a 90s essentials R&B thing, that'll get played somewhere in the mix. So that's up there. So and he's got other songs in there too. So for somebody out there that was holding it down back in those days, yeah, man, I would be crawling over in my grave too. But hey, man, it is what it is with the industry. So what can you say?
Sadly, yeah. Ownership matters, man. Ownership is a big deal. For context, so Jerry Seinfeld, and just an example, in another, it's still in the entertainment industry, but just television and not music. But Seinfeld and Larry David together sort of retain ownership over Seinfeld. Now, mind you, Seinfeld has been canceled. Seinfeld has been off of television since 1998, I think. I think Seinfeld's last season was 97, 98. It's been off television since 1998. And it says, to this day, it's estimated that both Seinfeld and David receive residuals of between $40 million and $60 million each year. One of the earlier syndication deals circa 1998 was valued at $1.7 billion. Seinfeld's share was $255 million straight off the bat.
Damn.
So in addition to the 255 split that he received, it's estimated he gets between 40 and 60 mil for the syndication rights to that show every year. And that's into perpetuity. That's forever. That never ends. So not everything is Seinfeld, but that puts into perspective the importance of like not allowing people to swindle you out of something that you've created because they think that you're just going to be, lured in by, okay, we'll make you rich now, but then we're just going to become exponentially richer off of what you made into the future. So it's a thing, man. Like this ownership stuff is real, bro. Like don't let them buy it from you. Keep it. Hold on to it. And if you want to license your creation to corporations, but you still have the largest stake in it, do that. But don't just outright sell it or allow somebody to just take it from you without a fight, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to get your art is going to get turned into ratchet rap or whatever they call it. I don't know what you call it. I don't know.
Yeah, or they're just going to take your skit or a movie and turn it into some Hollywood piece of crap. Take your book, make it a piece of crap. So yeah, man. So yeah, that goes with publishing houses and everything, man. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen a movie where people said the book is better. Now I don't know if the author was actually intimately involved, but I highly doubt it. I think it was just the director in Hollywood that said, no, we're just going to do this instead of doing what was in the book. So, it is what it is, man. Just make sure you get paid in the process, I guess. Just get your checks, man.
I guess, yeah. I'd rather just own it. Get that. Shouts out to Jon B, man. Good luck.